He doesn't like the fact that they're not. So, then he has his dreams. I want you to notice the difference in his dreams and their reactions to his dreams. So 37:7, okay, he tells them that they were binding sheaves in the field. His sheaf stood up, remained upright, and then he told them, your sheaves gathered around, v'tishtachavuna la'alumasi. They bowed to my sheaf, my bundle of wheat, whatever, was in the middle, and you were all bowing to it. Okay, then he had another dream. Okay, and by the way, if you look in the Chumash, because I didn't copy everything, Pasuk 8 says, the brothers say to him, oh, does this mean you're going to rule rule above us? This means we're all going to bow to you and you're going to be so superior? And the Pasuk says, Vayosifu, which is the word Yosef, Vayosifu od seno oso. They even continue to hate him more. Okay? So the reaction to him being superior to them in wheat is that they hated him in addition. So his leadership was causing them to dislike him. Okay, and his statements of his leadership. What he was adding to the picture was hatred. Okay?
Is the sons of Leah not included in the...
Yes. Yes. All the sons of Leah are the ones who are antagonized by him.
But at the beginning it just said...
Those are the ones he was friends with. He befriended the other ones because he was already on the outs with Leah's children. Now he speaks of his next dream, and look at the difference. You tell me the difference. He dreams of the sun and the moon and 11 stars, mishtachavim li. What just changed? Bowing down to him personally, not just to his wheat. So then the Pasuk 11, which is not on your pages, says, Vayikanu bo, they were jealous of him. They were jealous. The first time they hated him. The second time they were jealous. Because Yosef was talking about leadership on two levels. He would be wealthy, and physically they would have to bow to him to support them and to sustain them because he would have the wheat. And that they hated the fact that he would have the capacity to control them or to dominate them because he was wealthier than them, and that's a thing of this world. That's material. But when he said that the sun and the moon and the stars will be bowing to him, that's clearly a spiritual greatness, and that they were jealous of. So Yosef has leadership potential spiritually and physically over the brothers, which means that in the period of Hester Panim, the children of Yosef, that capacity of the Jewish people to emulate Yosef, we'll see, is going to be there's going to be capacity to be spiritually superior than the brothers of Leah, the brothers of the children of Leah, and also provide for them physically. And this is something they're not at all ready to accept yet, that their sun is setting and the son of Yosef is rising. Okay? So now, Yosef, though, still in a spirit of responsibility for his brothers, is being sent by Yaakov to find them where they're shepherding. And there's a pasuk here here it is, yeah. And 37:14, Yaakov says, "Go see how your brothers are doing. He sends them from the valley of Hebron." Now look at Rashi, straight out. Hebron's on a hill. Okay? So what does it mean, the valley of Hebron? Okay? The meaning is that Yaakov sent him in consequence of the necessity of bringing into operation the deep, profound, in other words, valley thought of the righteous man who is buried in Hebron. The valley meaning the depth of a big picture that we can't really see. Who's buried in Hebron? Abraham, who got the prophecy in the Bris Ben Absarim. That what? That Geger Yezaracha, your children are going to be a stranger. In other words, it was time to start the next stage of Gullus.
The change of name also implies?
Which change of name?
Israel to
Always.
Yisrael.
Keep an eye on that all the time. Okay? Vayomer Yisrael El Yo. Yes, this is a very good observation. Pasuk Yud Gimel. Yisrael says to Yosef, go. In order to get to Yisrael, we have to go through the Golus. Remember that? So it's already an eye to the future. Do you see, everyone sees that? The Geula is already, because we need to achieve that future Geula, which we're called Yisrael, you got to go through the Golus. So he sends him to start. So Vayavo Shechema, he comes to Shechem. This is a place that's associated with the shift from Leah to Rachel. Okay? This is a spot destined to the scene of misfortunes. Here they sinned by selling Yosef because they were not in the beginning at all used to or comfortable with or accepting of the idea that there has to be this shift. And that's where Dinah was maltreated, same type of thing. And this is where the house of David from Yehuda is divided. Okay, in other words, this is all part of a destiny where we're entering into a phase where Yehuda, Yehuda, David, they don't have a long period in the sun before it shifts to Golus. We have the 1,000 years. You have the glory days, as we said, the Giloi Shechina, but the 1,000 years starts by Abraham until you get to the first base of Mikdash. You have 400 years of the first base of Mikdash where we have everything. But right away, you get David, Shlomo, and things start to deteriorate. They don't have a long time to be in that position. The long period is the Golus. And then the longer eternal period after the Golus, that's when you get Leah, Yisrael, David, Yehuda. That's when it all comes back, and then it's forever. Everyone knows what I'm talking about? Okay. Yes, Mashiach. Okay, so now, look what he says. He goes to Shechem. It's got to start. But the first words he says when they ask him, what are you doing here? Why are you coming to Shechem? So what's his answer? Taszayin, Bayomer, Es achai anochi mevakesh. I'm looking for my brothers. Okay? Hagidanoli, tell me please. Eifo heimroim, where are they shepherding? These words are laden with meaning. Yosef is always going to take responsibility for the well-being of his brothers, whether they appreciate it or not. Meaning, the period of Hester Panim is going to always have, guaranteed, within it, a force of righteousness and responsibility, embodied in this case in Yosef, embodied in Mordechai and Hester, embodied in the Yechidei Segula, the great tzaddikim in the Golus, who are always making sure to stay pure so that they can take responsibility for their brothers who are wandering and who don't even know what to do with the Golus and are not set up to deal with the Golus in the beginning and are mourning the loss of the better days. Okay? There's in the Golus, Rachel, when we say Rachel is associated with Hester Panim, what we mean to say is the period of Hester Panim we will put it like this, the period of Hester Panim, okay, will in the end be for us a journey, a process whereby we find that hidden light in it through Rachel's children who guarantee our survival in the Hester Panim. She is Hester Panim in that her children guarantee our survival through the Hester Panim. Okay? That's the role of Rachel's children, and this is what Yosef is doing right away. However, the brothers are, and think about this for ourselves, parents with their children, when it's time for the parents to withdraw and let their children emerge on their own, find themselves. Right? The brothers, Am Yisrael, this is the beginning, right, of the Golus. They are not ready to come to terms with the fact that everything's going to change and Yosef is going to take authority and there's going to be a Golus. They're not ready for this. And what they do in the beginning is they devalue the entire purpose of Golus. It can't be valuable. It can't be good. what it is it's a destruction of Am Yisrael. It's going to destroy us. It's not a good thing, it's a bad thing. And they say, we better destroy it before it destroys us. So they take Yosef, and they say, yeah, let's see about these dreams. And they decide they're going to rip off his clothing, okay, and they're going to kill him. Look at Pasuk 19, okay. Pasuk 19, it's not on your sheets. And you're going to see an incredible parallel. Vayomer ish el achiv, man says to his brothers, look at this dreamer's coming. You know what, now let's go, let's kill him. Let's throw him in a pit. We'll say an animal, a wild animal ate him. And let's see what happens with his dreams. So this is where we're still in a state of believing that we can stop history, we can stop destiny, we could change things, we could take control, we can interfere. Okay? So Reuven's a side character here, but he's important too. Reuven wanted to save him, and he said, no, well, let's not kill him. Let's not spill blood. Okay, let's just throw him in a pit. Okay? But we shouldn't kill him. And why did Reuven say this? Look at the pasuk. He had a motivation. Restore him to his father. Let Yosef be one of us again. So Reuven doesn't want to get rid of Yosef, but he wants Yosef to blend himself back into the family. Okay? It doesn't happen. Can't happen. There's no going backwards here. Okay? So then what happens? They throw him in a pit. They sit down, they eat bread. They say they think they did a good thing. And then they see the Yishmaelim coming from Gilad. And it happens to be, the Torah tells us, that their caravan is carrying, instead of oil, okay, it happens to be carrying all these beautiful spices. Just to tell you that not only is Yosef's part, the destiny has started, but for Yosef is always kind of getting messages that he is fully being watched and protected by Hashem. He doesn't even have to go down to Egypt in a smelly caravan. He goes down with spices, with pleasantly. Now look at this. Vayomer Yehuda. Okay, Yehuda stands up now, and he really takes responsibility here. Yehuda, who is really, don't forget, Yehuda Yosef. Two kings. King in system 1, king in system 2. King in Eretz Yisrael and Giloi Shechina, king in Galus. Okay? Both know that they're important. Both know that through them there could be a life of revelation of the light. Okay? So, and we haven't figured out yet how to combine both, how to accept both, and how it works. So Yehuda says like this. Vayomer Yehuda elachav, he says to his brothers, and he's the leader of his brothers at this point, Ma betza, what benefit do we gain? Ki na'arog, and look what he keeps saying, es achinu. He's our brother. V'kisinu estamo, and we'll hide the fact that we killed him. You know what we should do? Let's sell him to the Ishmaelim. V'yadenu al tibo, and we won't kill him at all. We won't even let him die. We won't even let him die naturally in the pit. We'll make sure he's alive. We'll sell him. Now look what he says again. Ki achinu bisarenu hu. He's our brother. He's our flesh. Vayishmu echav. So Yehuda and his brothers listen to him. So Yehuda's already saying, now wait a second, this isn't so simple. He's part of us. He's our flesh. We can't just disconnect him. There's a part of Yosef that is part of us. It's the beginning of realizing this. Okay? So we're not going to damage him. We're just going to interfere. We're not going to cooperate, but we're not going to damage him. Okay? So they sell him. You know what they did. They come to their father. Okay? And they take his coat. They dip it in the blood. Look at Pasuk 32. Okay?
So I didn't know anything about this.
They look at 32. They say their father, Vayomru zos matzanu. We just happened to find this. Ha kerna. This is the first time we're seeing this phrase. Very important phrase. Hakerna, please. Do you recognize it? Tell us if you recognize it. Vayakira, and he recognized it. Now, before we go into Yaakov's reaction, okay, this position that Yehuda took, he's our brother, he's our flesh, we can't harm him directly, okay, that's Yehuda, knowing that Yosef, still wanting to get rid of him, but not taking that final step of violence against him, even secondhand violence, okay? This trickles down, okay? And much later on, look at Shmuel Aleph, Perek Beis, you have David, okay? David, this is the reverse now. Shaul is pursuing David. They viewed Yosef as pursuing them. They thought Yosef was trying to overpower them, rule them, dominate them. They didn't have any interest. They were not cooperating with that. They didn't see the value in it. Shaul, okay, now seems to, who's also from Rachel, right, from Binyamin, is also threatening David. He wants to get rid of David. He doesn't want David to take his place. Shaul, this is from Rachel, doesn't want David from Leah to take his place. So that this is where Leah's children again feel under threat by the children of Rachel. Okay? So how does David handle the next incredible situation? David's in a cave. He's running away from Shaul. He's in the back of a cave. Shaul, who's pursuing him and literally trying to kill him, enters the cave and has to go to the bathroom. David's people, he was Chanua, right? He didn't want to go. So David's people say to him, look at Shmuel Aleph, chapter 24. They say, oh my goodness, clearly, Hine hayom asher amar Hashem elecha, hine anochi nosein esayvecha biyadecha. This is clearly fulfilling the promise. Hashem said, I'm going to deliver your enemies into your hands. So now, David, get up. Do whatever you want. You can kill him. He's right here. He's trying to kill you. Kill him. David's people are telling him to kill Shaul. And David has 5 million reasons why Shaul is a threat to him and halachically can be killed. Okay? Halachically, because he's a rodef, he's trying to kill him, and there's a halacha to kill your pursuer first. So he doesn't do it. He doesn't kill him, even though everyone's saying, let's kill him. This sounds familiar, right? The brothers are saying, let's kill him. And David doesn't kill him. He says, no. What does he do instead? He cuts off his coat. He cuts off a piece of his coat. Okay? And then, guess what happens to David after he does that? Terrible regret. He feels like he did the wrong thing. His heart is pounding. He knows he did the wrong thing. He shouldn't have even, not that he did the wrong thing not killing him. He did the wrong thing by in the slightest way tampering with the kavod of Shaul ben Rachel, okay, the king of Israel. So he feels very bad. And now look at the next step. He says to his men, the Lord forbid, meaning I know that it is forbidden to me that I should do a thing to my Lord. In other words, they're saying to him, are you crazy? Kill him. Here's David's people. David, we are here, all of us, hiding in a cave, in Ein Gedi, by the way, okay, in the wilderness, barely, with no food, living like fugitives, to protect you from Shaul, who is now right here, and you can kill him, and we can all go home. Why are you not killing him? And David has to calm them all down, and he says, Chalila li, he says, God forbid. Okay, Chalila li me'Hashem, imesas hadavar hazeh la'adoni, I cannot do this to my master. L'mashiach Hashem, he is anointed by God. Lishloch yadai ki Mashiach Hashem hu, he is Hashem's chosen, I can't touch him. Okay, this is learned the lessons of Yehuda, and already integrated in David ben Yehudah, who won't touch, will not harm Shaul, no matter what. Okay, so the stories that we're learning today trickled down through history and lessons were learned. Now look what happens. Vayishasa David es anashav b'dvarim. He rebuked his men with words. He did not permit them to attack Shaul. Okay? And Shaul left the cave and went on his way. Okay? So you're already seeing almost like the next stage in this, where David will not touch Shaul. Because they already learned their lesson of what happened when they tried to harm Yosef and how it all turned out. Don't start up with the children of Rachel. And don't start up with those that Hashem has appointed to take responsibility for Am Yisrael, even if they're not perfect, in the Shaul's case. Okay?
Don't touch their coats.
Don't touch their coats. Don't touch their coats. Don't, right. Now,
Was Saul aware of the whole?
when Shaul left the cave, if you read the rest of the parak, it's an unbelievable parak. Shaul leaves the cave. David comes out and says, "Yoo-hoo! Why do you believe lashon hara about me that I'm trying to hurt you? You see, I have your piece of your coat. And when you were in my cave, I could have killed you. You were right here. This is how close I was to you. And you didn't kill, and I didn't kill you. Why do you constantly try to pursue me and see me as a threat? I'm not a threat to you." This is where David is saying to Shaul, "I'm not a threat to you." And Shaul has terrible regret. He says, "You're right, and I'm so sorry, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I won't do." And he has a her tshuva.
But Yosef doesn't say that to his brothers.
No, this is the reverse. This is where we're just showing how the children of Yehuda, namely David, have learned their lesson. And they are very careful not to start up or tamper with the children of Rachel, Shaul, when they are in a position of power, okay, and when it isn't yet David's time. The reason is, David said, "It's not my time yet. When Hashem wants me to be the king, I will be the king." And that's Hashem's department, and I don't have to get involved. And that's here too. When we go into Hester Panim, when it's still Rachel, Yosef, Shaul's time, David waits. Not like this case where they try to interfere and preempt and change things around. Yosef, the children of Rachel, have to have their time. And David, Mashiach ben David, they wait until this whole period is over. And then David's time comes in the future, okay? Also here. So now what happens? All right. So now they say Hakirna, okay? So now let's see what we know so far. I'm on my notes. Yosef, Reuven, and Yehuda, okay? They all have some type of influence on their brothers, and they all have some type of responsibility that they're taking for their brothers, okay? Yosef, we see he is taking the spiritual responsibility to shepherd them, to worry about them, to keep an eye on them, to somehow, be the one who makes sure that they're doing the right thing. That's Yosef, okay? Yehuda has responsibility, and they listen to him, and he says, you know what, he's still our brother, he's our flesh and blood, so let's take it easy. Let's not in any way contribute to his death. Let's just let's just get him out of the way. And Reuven and Yehuda's motivation is Achdus. He's our brother, he's our flesh. So he's got already, everybody is showing a glimmer, the raw potential of the future. Yehuda cares about the Achdus of Am Yisrael. Yosef cares about the spiritual status of Am Yisrael. Okay, Reuven, who's a lesser character here, is worried about Yaakov and that Yaakov shouldn't leave Yosef. We're not going to get into that right now. But they're showing glimmers of future roles. Okay? They're not perfect yet. But you can already see who they are going to become. All right? Now look at the next parak. Lamed Ches. Oh boy. Vayhi ba'esahi vayered Yehuda. Okay? Vayered Yehuda. Yehuda went down. He descended from his brothers. Look at Rashi. Why is this section placed here? That's interrupting the story of the history of Yosef. To teach that his brothers degraded him from his high position. When they saw their father's grief, they said, "You told us to sell him. If you had told us to send him back, we would have obeyed you." In other words, Yehuda has a lot of influence, and he didn't use it correctly.
I'm not sure that that's true, though. You know, in retrospect, it's always different.
So Yehuda had a lot of influence. He was able to convince his brothers not to kill him, not to leave him in the pit. So what we're seeing here now is what happens. We're seeing Yehuda didn't fulfill his mission as being the leader of protecting Yosef. So what happened? When Yehuda did not protect Yosef, let's look at it in big terms. When Am Yisrael doesn't appreciate the value of the Golus, when they feel that it's the worst thing that could ever happen, that it's going to going into Golus is going to destroy Judaism. It's going to destroy the Jewish people. They don't see that nothing's going to destroy the Jewish people, and it's part of the process. It has to be. It's not going to, just like a parent that's scared that when the kid goes on their own and starts to make mistakes, God forbid they'll never figure it out, and they're going to make terrible mistakes and they'll be completely lost. So they're scared to let the child go at all. Okay? We are, Am Yisrael is very afraid, and so therefore we try to stop the process. We try to stop the whole process, but it can't be stopped. And what ends up happening is that when we don't appreciate the value of the next stage of the Hester Panim, of the Golus, which is the period where we get to be the source of the light and cause that light to re-emerge, then we don't know what to do with ourselves. We don't know what to do with ourselves because we don't have, we're going to enter into that stage and we don't know how to handle it because we don't appreciate it, because we don't see the value in it. So we don't know how to draw from it the light. So what happens? Yehuda himself is devalued by the brothers for not being a leader. But more than that, if you look at the rest of the story, this is where Yehuda just deteriorates. He has no hope in himself. He certainly doesn't act like a leader. He goes down, he gets married. Bas ish Kanani. Chazal say he doesn't mean a real Kanani, he means a merchant. He marries some person, he has children. His children are terribly disappointing to him. They die because Hashem takes away their lives because they're sinning in secret by not allowing their wife. There's the first one, let's do a little. He goes, he marries, he has a child, and he calls him Er. And then he has another child called Onan, and he has another child called Shelah. And he takes a wife for Er, and her name is Tamar. And she's very beautiful, this Tamar. And Er doesn't want to mess up her beauty, so he doesn't let her get pregnant. So he uses her as an object, but he doesn't let her get pregnant. So Hashem kills him. So he gives Tamar, the laws of Yibum, to the next one, to Onan, and he does the same thing. They don't let Tamar get pregnant. Think about this. Yehuda's children are not letting Tamar get pregnant. Now, who's Tamar? Who's she going to be? The mother of Mashiach. We're going to see soon. But they won't let her start the process. Because what are they worried about? Their beauty, her status, external, da-da-da-da. We don't even know how to handle the Golus. Yehuda's in a state of self-loathing, you might say. He failed. He wasn't a good leader. Now he deteriorates. He has these kids. These kids don't have the right values. God has no time for them. But what's happening behind the scenes? Tamar, things are going to happen behind the scenes, meaning even when we fall into despair and we don't have a guide light for ourselves, we have no clue what our path is, and we're just meandering in lost. Things are happening behind the scenes. Hashem is still moving the hand. There is Hester Panim. Where is the Hester Panim? Yehuda is in a state of Hester Panim because he doesn't have a vision yet, okay? So everybody knows the story about Tamar, right? She says, uh-oh, now it's time for the third son, Shelah. But he's like, I'm not giving you my third son. My first two were killed because of you. It wasn't because of her, because of them. So she goes and dresses herself up as a Zona, okay? He doesn't recognize her. Now look at this, Pasuk 14. Just look at the words. She took off her widow's garb. Okay, what is that trying to say? It's time for the process of Mashiach to start, and stop mourning, and stop thinking all is lost, and stop thinking that there's no future. There's a future, and it's in play. But Yehuda doesn't know it yet. The Jews don't realize it yet. Okay, this is a dark time, because the darkness is with us. So she takes off the clothing of her widowhood. She covers her face. Now look where she's sitting. What is the name of this place she's sitting in? What does that mean? Petach einayim. Open eyes. Somebody's eyes were open. Her eyes were wide open. She was not in a state of Hester panim at all. She said, things have got to start moving here, and I have to take action. So Yehuda goes, and he sees her, and he of course, he succumbs, and the Chazal say a malach pushed him. In other words, forces were in play to start this process going. And she says, what are you going to send me? And what does he say, what he's going to send her? A gedi izim. I'm sending you a goat. The whole story by David and Shaul happened in, by the way, Ein Gedi. Okay? And what did they dip the coat in? Seir izim. Okay. All right, hello. How clear can you get? Okay? So he sends her this. He gives her some other, there's a lot of symbolism here. Okay? What happens? He forgets, he goes home, he forgets about anything ever happened. Tamar is pregnant. What? So now Tamar is Yehuda's daughter-in-law, who's still in Yehuda's household, who's technically waiting till Sheila grows up so he could give her Sheila, and she's pregnant. So Yehuda, okay, this is Lahavdil Elef Havdalos, Aristotle's Hamartia. Okay, this is it. Yehuda, completely clueless that this is him, okay, that made her pregnant, sees she's pregnant and says, oh my goodness, we have to take her out. This is terrible. This is adultery of some sort. And she has to be burned. By the way, burned. Be very careful. They didn't burn people. This is branded. Remember the Scarlet Letter? An adulteress was branded. So people would know you can't necessarily trust this person with your children. You might not. They might not be your children. Buyer beware. Okay. So now what happens? First of all, how long does it take till Yehuda realizes that she's pregnant? Pasuk 24. Okay? 3 months. Okay? Alrighty? 3 months. We're going to see what that's all about. 3 months is very, very important.
Why is it allusion to goats have to do with Mashiach?
They dipped his coat in the blood of the goat. Gedi izim.
Right.
Oh.
Goats, but so what?
Goats.
But so what? What does that mean?
It's very good. You know what? It's a good question. And think about, okay, hold it, okay? Hold it. It's a very good question. Everybody think about it a little bit. What's with goats? They dip Yosef's coat in blood of a goat. Yosef, David's fine shawl in Ein Gedi. Yehuda sends her a goat. I want you to think about it. And think about other places where goats come up. Okay. Now, what's with the Gedi? Okay, now, 3 months. Okay, Vayugad Yehuda Lemar Zanta Tamar Kalasecha. Guess, oh my goodness, she must have been an adulteress. We'll talk about the 3 months soon. So he finds her, you know what the story is. So what does she do? What does she do? She is Tamar. She is working with Yehuda. Yehuda is, remember, Leah, Dinah, etc. It's a time of Hester Panim. Who is in a state of Hester Panim? Yehuda, not Tamar. Okay? Not Tamar at all. She gets the whole story. But Yehuda is making that fatal flaw. Coming from which midah? What did Aristotle say? What was the Greek tragedies? Lahavdil, but it's true. Confident, hubris. He's sure he's figured this one out. He's sure that this is an open-closed situation here. He knows what's going on, and he's going to take action. This is like classic, what could have been a Greek tragedy, correct? Killing Tamar and her 2 babies, who happen to be the fathers of Mashiach. Okay, so what happens though? This is not a Greek tragedy because we don't believe that people self-destruct because they make mistakes. We believe that when people make mistakes because they're lost, Hashem's hand behind the scenes is still in play, and maybe it's in their darkest moment of most confusion that the seeds of their redemption are actually born. That's what we believe. So we don't lose hope. So Tamar doesn't expose the hand of God. She asks Yehuda to consider the possibility that there's something else going on behind the scenes here. So she says, Hakerna, same words. Do you know whose staff and ring and coat this might be? because that's whose children these are. Now, she doesn't openly say it. She asks him to recognize what she knows, what he should know, but he's completely not considering the possibility.
She had the foresight to prepare for that.
Well, he gave her these things, and she held on to them. So what happens, Pasuk Chavav? Vayaker Yehuda. Yehuda recognizes it. Recognizes, because there he is. Of course he recognizes it. He sees them, and he says, oh my goodness. And what do you think the main thought is here? I have no clue what's going on. I literally did not know what was going on. I was about to kill my own children. This is literally lahavdil, such a Greek tragedy, except what happens? Okay? Vayomer, what are the two words? Tzadka mimeni. Now tzaddik, because the only person in the entire Chumash called tzaddik is? Okay. She's a tzaddik, tzaddikah. She's right. She never sinned. She was not confused. She made sure the right things are happening. Actually, in the time when the Jewish people are plunged into Hester Panim, okay, not everybody is blind. From Rachel, from the tzaddikim are not blind. They have they're living in the same clarity that everybody, that we all used to be in. So he says, tzadka mimeni. Okay,
so and to this from him also when he's
and mimeni.
When he said chatasi.
And David says chatasi also, 100%. Now the children are called Peretz and Zarach, and of course Peretz is the grandfather of David through Boaz. Okay, now contrasting to Vayeshv Yehuda. Okay, Vayeshv Yehuda, because Yehuda. The word Vayeshv is active, right? Yehuda goes down. He starts to deteriorate. He sees no path for himself. He doesn't have he's not filled with a vision. He marries, whoever. He has these children. They're completely lost. He gets himself into trouble. He doesn't know he's getting into trouble. He practically destroys his whole future. And in the last second, he saves himself. The last second he saves himself, of course, through her. The story of Yosef is entirely different. Instead of Vayeshv Yehuda, look at what it says in Perek Lametes. Vayosef hurad Mitzrayim. Yosef was taken down. He's part of it. Had to be. He was. The future had to start. It had to be. Yosef was taken into Mitzrayim. It's not that Yosef deteriorated at all. And how did he do in Mitzrayim? How did he do there? Look at the amazing description. And we're in chapter 39, Psukim 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at these. Look at this. Vayhi Hashem es Yosef. Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei. Giloi Shechina was totally with Yosef. Okay. Vayhi Ish Matzliach. He was a very successful man. Everything he did turned to. He was like Midas lahavdil. Everything turned to gold. Vayhi bebeis Adonav HaMitzri. He was in the Mitzri's house. Vayar Adonav Ki Hashem ito. He saw Hashem was with him. How? Look at Rashi. Shem Shemayim Shogor B'Fiv. He always spoke of God. He was a Baruch Hashem. This Hashem is doing. Hashem is helping me. Hashem. We're going to see that in the parsha. It's constantly referring back to God. Yosef, is not in a state of Hester Panim at all, even though he's in Mitzrayim.
You're making a comparison between Yosef and Tamar?
Of course. They are both the ones who maintain clarity and who ensure that they cause the rest of Am Yisrael to finally recognize what was always there, which was never really hidden, but we lost sight of, and to come to finally be reunited and restored. So Hashem is with Yosef. So when we talk about Rachel as Hester Panim, they are the preservation of Am Yisrael through Hester Panim. They are not in Hester Panim. Okay? They see the light.
Yehuda feared because he went to the prostitute, but Yosef did not fear.
Exactly. And Yehuda with Tamar is compared to Yosef and the wife of Potiphar, where Yosef completely resists because he sees his father's face, and that's that, and he knows who he is. Whereas Yehuda is just overcome because he's really has at that point he's drifting. Okay, So Hashem is with him. He's always speaking about Hashem. V'chol asher hu oseh Hashem matzliach b'yado, and everything he does, Hashem causes it to be successful. Vayimsa Yosef chen, like Esther, matzah chen. He finds chen in the eyes of his master, and vayafkadehu al beso. He appoints him on the whole household, kind of like Esther and Mordechai, but they're from Binyamin. But this is Rachel's children. V'chol yeshlo nasam b'yado, and he gives him authority over everything. Okay. So after he made Yosef in charge of his whole household, his whole state, he blessed the Beis Mitzri Biglal Yosef, on account of Yosef. And he blessed the Mitzri, and Hashem's blessing was on everything the Mitzri had because of Yosef. So Yosef is living in a bubble, with very close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, despite the fact that he's technically in Golus. Okay? Now, what happens? The wife of Potiphar, he does not succumb. Okay? And then when he gets thrown into jail, which is not his fault, look at Pasuk Chav Gimel in the end of the parak, and in jail, they make him head of the jail, because Vasher, who was Hashem, everything he did, he had atzlacha. Okay?
Esther, you left out the part about the coat, another coat.
Oh yes, of course. Thank you. And she rips off his coat. Okay. Now we're summing up here.
Hester, but before that,
yes,
he again sees himself as good-looking and handsome.
Right. So we're going to see the transition. However, Yosef does not know. Yosef is being raised up to tremendous power and leadership now. He is a person who is close to Hashem, but he doesn't mean that he still understands what his leadership is for. Okay, right now he's just giving blessing to the Mitzri. There's more to his leadership than blessing the household of the Mitzri. But Yosef doesn't even exactly know yet. He doesn't know yet. Now, look what happens. So for Yosef, you might see that in that way the R is still hidden. He doesn't know for exactly what reason he has all this strength and success. Okay, now what happens? Now we have to jump ahead, okay? We have to jump ahead to chapter 42, which is next week's parsha, but it's in our theme. Everybody knows there's a famine in the land, He comes out of jail, he becomes a second in the king. Okay, now he has a position of power, as Rachel's children do. And look at Pasuk 7 in chapter 42. The brothers all show up in front of Yosef. Look at the language. Vayar Yosef as Achiv. As Echav. What's the next two words? Vayaki Reim. So what's the next word? Vayisnaker, same root. Alem, he acted like a stranger. Okay? Next pasuk. Vayaker Yosef, because he didn't yet know what to do with them. He didn't know how to deal with them. So he didn't let them know who he was. He just acted, like a stranger to them. He didn't give them a clue. Vayaker Yosef as Achav. Then it says it again. What happened between the first and the second? Vehem lo hikiruhu, and they didn't recognize him. And then look at the next one. This is my grandfather's incredible insight. Vayizkar Yosef es achalomos asher cholam lohem. This is the big message. First, Yosef sees his brothers and he recognizes them. They do not recognize him. Then it says, see the first pasuk of Vayar Yosef es Echav? The next one says, Vayaker Yosef es Echav. Vahem lo hikiruhu, and he Vayizkar Yosef es achalomos asher cholam lahem. He finally realizes it. Why did I have those dreams? Why am I destined for leadership? Why am I having so much success here? Why is God smiling on me? Why is my life in a way charmed in its Mitzrayim here, in Golus? Why am I a leader here? He finally realized it. He remembered those dreams and he realized he didn't dream them about his own leadership. He dreamed these dreams for them. Asher cholam lohem. His leadership, his gifts, his spiritual strength was for them, to lead them through the Golus. He always knew that he had a sense of responsibility, and he always, wanted them to be better. But until he saw them there in Egypt, in Golus, and he was a king, and he was a successful person, did the whole picture come together that those stirrings in me to take care of them, and then my rise to greatness was all teaches me that my role, any power I have, any leadership position I have is only for them. It's not for me. When he was making his hair and making his eyes in the beginning, because it was about him still, it had to be about them. So here's what happens. There is a hidden light. It is hidden from Yehuda, that things are happening behind the scenes. And Yosef is living in that light, but even for Yosef, you know there's hidden tzaddikim? Yosef had tzaddik. What's a hidden tzaddik? Many times people see that someone is a tzaddik. Yosef was clearly a tzaddik. Everybody recognized it. Everybody in Egypt recognized it. They said, God is with you. The hidden part of the hidden tzaddikim is that the tzaddik sometimes doesn't even know the real role they're supposed to play. And the deeper levels of their righteousness are still hidden. The deeper levels of their capacity to guide are still hidden. When we say they're hidden tzaddikim, it doesn't mean they're hidden from us. We could see someone who clearly looks like a tzaddik, but even in a tzaddik, there still remains many, many levels that haven't come to light yet. And in every single person, there are always many, many levels that are still hidden, that have to still be discovered. Now look at this, talking about finding the hidden light. Look where it says, recognizing the Ar Haganos. Strange things. Ar is the 25th word in the Torah. Vayihi Ar takes place, Hashem says Vayihi Ar on the 25th of Elul. Chanu Chafhei 25, okay? That's Chanuka, when the miracle of the light is on the 25th day of Kislev, not just to parallel that Or is the 25th word in the Torah and Chanuka is the 25th of Kislev. How many months passed between the 25th of Elul, when Hashem said Yehi Or, which is the 25th word, and the 25th of Kislev? How many months? 3 months. The Or Haganos, this is a riddle, a secret, can only remain hidden for 3 months. Okay? Okay, now look at this. Okay, Moshe is born on Zayin Adar. Okay, look at the psukim below. Moshe's mother gives birth. Vatar Isha Vatele Ben. Vatera Oso Ki Tov. What does Rashi say on Tov? That Moshe was good. What was Rashi saying? Tov, what does Rashi say? The whole house became filled with light. And look at the next 3 words. She hides him for 3 months. What's 3 months after Zayin Adar? Zayin Sivan, which is the date of the Matan Torah. We keep it on Vav, it's a whole thing. But it's Zayin Sivan. Okay, 3 months later. Now, look what happens here when Tamar gets pregnant. What does the pasuk say? 3 months, and it was told to Yehuda, your daughter's pregnant. Who's she pregnant with? We know? Mashiach. Okay. What's eventually the twins that lead to Mashiach. Okay. Here are the stages of coming to terms with the Hester panim that falls into everyone's life, and for the Jew, and as a nation, we are hopefully at the end of. Okay, but this happens in everybody's life. Okay. The first stage is hakerna. See? Your hopes are dashed. Your hopes are dashed. This future that you imagined, harmony is destroyed. The family is divided up. Nobody agrees with anybody. Okay? The whole plan is derailed. We've had periods in our life where we say our plan is derailed, everything is ruined, there's no future, I don't know where to go from here. And what's Yaakov's reaction? He mourns. He loses nevuah. He enters a state of Hester panim. Why is Yaakov in a state of Hester panim? Why does he lose nevuah? Why is he so sad? Because he believes, or he's led to believe, that everything is lost. and this hope he had is that, his hopes are dashed. But what really, is everything lost? No, a new process is underway. The hand behind the scenes is working very quickly and very hard. There's a lot going on. Nothing's lost. Things are changing, but nothing is lost. Okay? That's the first hakerna. That's not a hakerna that, no, I don't recognize it. I don't know what this is. Can this be my son's coat? Yeah, it looks like my son's coat. You're telling me Yosef's dead? That means there's no future for me? But the pasuk tells us that he keeps mourning him. And Rashi says, why didn't he stop mourning? When somebody's dead and buried, eventually you move on. Because when somebody's not dead and buried, you can't stop mourning. Something tells you that the story's not over. And so it says that Yaakov kept mourning, and Rashi says, it's a siman that things were going on. But that first hakerna is very, very confusing and very, the next one, what happens? So Yaakov enters a state of Hester panim. Okay? Then Yehuda. What's the story of Yehuda? Yehuda's story is losing faith in ourselves, not recognizing that the seeds of redemption are planted in our darkest moments, recognizing that confusion, Hester panim, which Yehuda had with the Tamar story, is actually very subjective. He was confused, not her. Okay, that's the second hakerna. We are in a state of confusion. We don't know where to go. We think hope is lost. But Yosef is constantly aware of Hashem's presence. Okay, there's never Hester panim. So what's happening here? First, we don't fully appreciate the value of this period in our lives, the Hester panim period, where it's up to us to find the light, and we start blaming other people, lack of solidarity, sinas chinam. Sinas chinam, that's the story. They blame each other. Everybody is the reason. They don't trust that there's a big plan unfolding. Okay? And this distrusting, the brothers didn't distrusted Yosef. They said, you goofed, it's your fault. They threw him down too. He went down. They didn't trust Yosef. You're getting in the way. You're breaking up our family. There's a lack of trust. Nobody would just let it be and let the plan unfold, okay? However, despite our interfering in the plan, which we like to do, nothing can interfere with the destiny of Yosef, and when we, the Yehudim, do not see the value of Yosef or the Gullus as a process that reveals the hidden light, we lose hope in ourselves. Nevertheless, the hidden light will emerge from us at our darkest moments. Okay, who is Yosef HaTzadik? These are the righteous who remain pure because they see through the Hester. They recognize their responsibility, I didn't add here, but their brother's blindness. They shepherd them through and out of the blindness. And what we're going to speak about
shepherding.
Shepherding, interesting. And this is what we're going to deal with more next week. How only when Yehuda commits to protect Binyamin at all costs do we then see behind the Hester and realize the light was never really hidden to begin with. Rather, we were. Next week, we're going to speak about the light that was never really hidden. When the brothers stood in front of Yosef in the end, and they were, just put yourself in their head, okay? I know it's so late, I'm sorry. Put yourself in their head. We're in danger. Our family is broken up. This crazy king is a madman who wants to destroy us. Yaakov's going to die from depression. Binyamin's in danger. Everything is we're on the brink of disaster. And they're sitting in front of Yosef. Yosef is not sitting behind a curtain. He's not sitting behind a veil. He's completely exposed. Why can't they see him? The Hester is in us. If we let it be, it's in us. But we're not supposed to let it be. And that is a story of Chanuka, the miracle of life. Everyone have a beautiful, beautiful Chanuka.
Beautiful.